everyone. So this is our second Facebook Live interview of the day, and look who's with us.
Hello.
We've got Lee. So I'm not holding. It is a bit weird. Yeah, let me explain why it's a bit weird. So we've got Lee Allison of Lee Allison Photography with us today. So Lee is founder of Lee Allison Photography, and he is extremely lucky that he gets to travel all around the world, plus Cambridge, Essex, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, and pretty much the whole of the UK, photographing weddings.
So you're going to say, I'm so lucky to spend 24/7 with you.
He is also extremely lucky that he gets to spend 24/7 with me, because he is actually my fiance. So that's why this is ever so slightly weird. So, so anyway, Lee is an award-winning wedding photographer. He's extremely talented, and we are going to be interviewing him today and talking all things weddings, all things creative. So again, if you've got any questions for Lee, you want some top tips on planning your day, you want to ask anything that you can think of to your wedding photographer, just pop them down in the comments. We're doing these Facebook Live challenges to raise £15,000 for the Tampa Bereavement Support Group, and it's quite fitting that Lee is here with me today, because the Tampa Bereavement Support Group have supported us both through a pretty dreadful time. We very sadly lost our twin girls last year, and the support that Tampa have been able to give us has been, second to none, really. So I'm really glad that we can both be here and do this today. If you want to donate, and why wouldn't you, there's a few ways that you can do it. So the first one is you can head over to our Just Giving page, which is justgiving.com/15 years of rubber cheese, and you can see the total there. So we've had some donations today, so it's going up and up and up. And you can also text to donate. So you can text 378 and then £10 or £5 to 70070, and that will all be added to the pot. So again, please stay tuned. Please ask as many questions as you want, and we'll check in a little while and answer some of them.
Get donating.
Get donating, but for now, I'm going to interview my fiance. So Lee, tell me about Lee Allison Photography. So how did it come about, and when did you start?
So basically, I studied photography at A-level way back for about 12, 13 years ago. I went back in the digital age, so I used to develop my own photos in the darkroom, which was awesome. It was really great fun. And then came to go to university, and I wasn't sure what career path would happen if I done photography at the university, so I ended up selecting to do a design course, which was computer animation.
Do you regret that decision now, or do you feel like it actually was good as part of the creative process that you go through?
Yeah, I enjoyed working in design, but I wish I had done photography at the university and got into it like earlier. So basically went off to university for 3 years and then graduated. And then luckily I found a graphic design job, which was my first job in Boston and Cambridge. And I was really lucky that the studio manager spotted my CV and rang me up and said, would I be interested in coming in for an interview? Went into the interview, got the job. So I was there for 3 years. During this time, he kind of got me back into photography, really, because I hadn't done any really photography at university. And he asked me to go along to one of his weddings, so I went along just to help him out, really. And then that kind of got me back into wedding photography. So then I decided to set up a business. I kind of done a few shoots for friends and family and stuff like that, and then set up a business 6 years ago. I was working full-time as a graphic designer as well, and then finally went full-time just over 2 years ago now. And it's just been going from strength to strength, really.
I'd say something else equally as incredible happened 6 years ago, which was, eating me. But he's
give me a good side or a bad side.
Forgotten to mention that part. So 6 years. So you've been running this for 6 years,
Well,
and in that time.
Sorry, what I forgot to mention was that obviously after university I ended up working in graphic design for 12 years. And this helps massively now with all the editing process and all the album designs and stuff like that. So in a way I wish I had done photography at university, but it's kind of benefited me in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely, because you've got, so actually, do you think, so from being, do you think that that's what kind of sets you apart as a wedding photographer, that you have a creative background in design?
Yeah, I think so, because that's what I like to do. I like to produce creative images that are a bit different from the norm. So yeah, I guess that's down to my background.
Yeah, and that's great. So, that means you can take elements of things that you've done in the past and apply it to the job that you're in now.
Yeah.
So 6 years you've been doing it, and you were working at the same time.
Yeah, so for 4 years I was working alongside running my business, which was tough because obviously I was working 9 till 5, and then having to come home in the evenings, doing all the editing and all the other stuff that goes with it.
It was tough.
Yeah.
So and your wedding, when are you the busiest? This is like your busiest period at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably like sort of April to October is the busiest time, but like July, August, September, the 3 months it really starts going crazy.
So weekends we don't get to see each other particularly much over the summer, at weekends especially, and then a lot of Lee's time is spent obviously editing, because I think people forget that element of the wedding photography, don't they? It's all about the day.
Yeah, 100%. Like obviously the editing it takes the most time really. Going on the day for the actual wedding is the easy part really. It's the editing that takes all the time up.
So 2 years you've been doing it full time now, and so tell me about, so what kind of weddings have you done in that time, and what sort of, I suppose it's different with a business because I can kind of say, hey, what businesses do you work with, but what are the couples like that you tend to work with?
So it's kind of changed really. Like when I first started my second shop with the photographer, I've done a lot of weddings at colleges. So I tended to get that kind of market where I was student at colleges, Cambridge graduates and all that sort of thing. Over time it's kind of changed around now. I've started doing more destination weddings, which I really love. And I just like working with people that are a bit more relaxed and not so traditional with all the traditional wedding stuff really.
So what would be like a typical wedding for you? What are the kind of weddings that you tend to shoot at?
So obviously I tend to shoot all over the place, but most of the time the weddings I really love are sort of a barn wedding or a teepee wedding or like a destination wedding. They're the weddings that I really sort of want to be shooting like all the time.
So it's quite non-traditional in that sense.
Yeah, I mean I'm not a massive fan of the traditional stuff like cake cut and stuff like that. It's nice for people to embrace it, because weddings is not just about the traditional first kiss, cake cut, first dance, all that sort of stuff. It's about bringing all their friends and family together and having a real big party, and getting all the people that they love sort of in one day, because you never do that really for the rest of your life. So yeah,
that's really lovely. How do you? I want to know how you approach your wedding day, because when we spoke to Tony earlier, he mentioned that when he first started out in video, he did a few weddings, and I don't think he was super keen, and he said it's quite a lonely day because you're on your own, and it's also a lot of pressure as well, and that does put a lot of photographers off of doing weddings, doesn't it? So
yeah.
How do you approach a wedding? So what's your kind of style?
I always like to relax before a wedding. I get all my equipment, everything done, all the printouts of all the group shots that they want and stuff, like the day before. All the batteries are charged, everything's ready to go in my bags. So then on the morning of the wedding, all I've got to do is just have a nice big breakfast and then just literally chill out for a couple of hours before I head off.
So you guys keep, yes,
completely free.
So you're calm,
yeah,
which gives you more of that helps your creativity on the day.
The last thing I want to be doing is like stressing out for wedding, because then you just take that into the wedding day, and that's not what I want to be doing.
But it's your job to not be there, isn't it, in a way? So would you say, is that what people, like your couples, tend to say about you, that they don't realise that you're there?
Yeah, I mean, that's quite often I get that feedback from couples that, I get some shots that they didn't even know what happened. And most of the time the guests just forget that I'm there and I sort of blend into the background, which is perfect for me. So I can get the candid shots that I really love. You can get people reacting to each other naturally rather than sort of posed, which is perfect for me.
That makes for a better shot.
100%. You just get people's natural personalities. If you ask anyone to stand in front of the camera, everyone's so stiff and awkward. But if you can capture them naturally, you're capturing that person, what they're about.
So is that, what would you say your style is then? Is it quite documentary? Is it quite...
Yeah, it's very documentary with some creativity added into it for a couple of portraits, and that's where my design background comes in. So yeah, I'll just say documentary with a bit of creative twist.
So talk us through like a typical wedding day. You started earlier to say, how you kind of get into the right mindset for a wedding by just making sure you're fully prepared,
yeah.
You're relaxed on the morning. What then? Talk us through what happens on a typical wedding when you get there.
So typically, I'll arrive 2 to 3 hours before the ceremony, just so I can get some pictures of the bride and the bridesmaids getting ready. I always sort of normally pop in without my cameras just to sort of chat with the bride, just see how she's getting on in the morning, see if she's stressed, see how she's feeling. And then I normally walk off, take some pictures of the grounds and all that sort of stuff, and then come back in. And that's when I start taking pictures of them getting ready and stuff.
So you're getting kind of familiarising yourself with the venue. Sometimes you do venue visits prior.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah. More importantly, I'm getting them to be familiar with me and having me around. Because most of the time it's all women sort of getting ready, so it can be quite awkward for a man to go in. And once they get used to me, then they just relax and just get on with what they're doing before.
So a big part of your job as a photographer is making people feel at ease.
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that happens throughout the day. Because at the end of the day, no one likes having their photo taken. So it's just trying to make it as good a process as I possibly can for them, really, and to make them enjoy the experience rather than sort of worry and sort of stress out about it.
Sure. Because you've got enough to stress out about on your wedding day.
Exactly.
The least of your worries is your photographer.
Exactly.
Okay, so bridal prep is quite a big part, but not only is it a big part of kind of what you're producing, but it also has a huge effect on how that bride feels comfortable about being around and having you around.
Because it sets up the whole day. Because if you go in there all guns blazing, and they start stressing out, then just you're going to get that atmosphere the whole day. So that's like a really important part of the day.
So after bridal prep, then what tends to happen next?
So I normally try and get some shots of the dad seeing his daughter for the first time, and then I shoot off as quick as I can to the venue. This is why it can help if the venue is all in one, so then I don't have to drive in between, which would be a bit stressful.
So choose your venue wisely, keep your photographer happy. That's the top tip for today.
It also helps with all the guests as well, because the guests don't have to worry about transportation. They can just literally go to the venue and then they can just relax and have a drink, and they don't have to worry about cabs. They don't have to worry about transport in between the venue and the reception venue. So it can help a massive amount if you have the venue and the ceremony in the same place.
Right. Okay. And then I guess it depends on your days can be quite long. So from experience, I've said goodbye to Lee at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then not seen him until like 2 a.m. the next morning for some weddings. So your day, the actual wedding day itself, can be really long, and that's a long time on your feet. Isn't it?
I mean, typical wedding day is 10 to 12 hours. Plus, then you've got obviously you've got the transport to get there and get back and stuff like that. So that's factored in as well. But typically, 10 to 12 hours is like a typical wedding day, really, for me. Because I like to stay there later as well to get some dance floor action, just to complete the story of the day, which is like really important to me. Like a lot of wedding photographers will go after the first dance. I like to stay there for a good hour afterwards, just to get some natural shots of people letting their hair down, really, and then we can also get out for some creative shots when the nightfall comes.
Yeah, let's talk about your creative shots. So you do have a very kind of you have a very I want to say distinctive style, because you do have that real kind of, when we look through your wedding photos, you have those really wow shots.
Yeah.
And I love that the kind of day kind of ends on one of these kind of really wow dramatic shots. So how do you use a lot of kind of creative flash work, lighting? What's your...
A little bit of both, really. I mean, all throughout the day, I'm looking for little things that could be used in a creative shot. And also, if I scout the venue out beforehand, that's something else I can look around for. And it's just a case of, you know, in the evening, just putting some of these things that I found during the day into practice. Generally, I will use a few flashes. I've got a magmod system, which is basically some magnets that attach, like it's basically a flash modifier. So you can get creative colours, different lighting effects and stuff like that. So they can look really cool.
And what about, like, now while we're on the topic of equipment?
Yeah.
Lee has a home office. I'm not joking. There's stuff up there. I have no idea what it does. Like, are you? So what's your kind of photography setup? Are you Nikon? Are you Canon? What's
basically neither. I used to be Nikon. I was shooting Nikon since I first started. Then just about 2 years ago, I decided to switch to Fuji. Basically, they were making, you know, great reviews in the wedding market. So I got a body as a backup to start with, and I just absolutely loved it. It's like an old-fashioned camera with all the dials on the top, which obviously takes me back to my film days, which I really love. It's small, compact, light, especially for carrying around sort of 10 to 12 hours a day. So yeah, I decided to switch to Fuji, and it also helps with the destination weddings as well, because obviously you can take all the stuff in like a carry-on bag over my shoulder, and I've got to worry about it going into the hole and things like that. So
yeah, because so you have quite a lot of equipment to take to a wedding, don't you? So typically, you know, what kind of thing, what do you take on a typical wedding day?
So I shoot with 2 cameras, one with a 35 lens on, one with an 85 lens, and then I've got a camera which I leave in the car, which is a backup. And then I shoot mainly with the two 35 and 85 lenses, and I've got 24, which comes out when the dance floor happens, just so I can get real close and just be a part of the action. And then I've got two main flashes, and one and a little flash as well. And then obviously, like I said, the magmod stuff, which is all about the flash modifiers and all that sort of stuff as well.
So thank you for talking us through like a typical wedding day. But I guess actually that's not a typical day for you, is it? Because I think a lot of people do kind of forget what happens afterwards. So after a wedding, awful lot of work that then happens to deliver the photos to the couple. So what happens once you've shot a wedding? You know, what's the work that you then have to do?
So typically, once I've got back from the wedding, I'll download all the images to my desktop, and then I'll transfer them, copy them over to a hard drive, just so I have them in 3 places. So they're still on the memory cards, they're still on the desktop, and then I've got them on that hard drive as well, just in case, obviously, if there's any failures or anything like that. So keep them in 3 places, and then I import them into Photo Mechanic, which is a little bit of software where I just cull all the images, and that basically means just go through all the images and just select the ones that I want to use.
And what are you looking for in the ones that you want to use? You know, what's the thing that makes you choose one over another?
It's just very slight different movement, slightly different angle, you know, slightly different reaction. You know, obviously reactions, it takes a lot of time to get that perfect reaction. So it's just a case of going through them and selecting the one that really sort of jumps out at me. And then once I've selected all of them, I batch them all up, put them into Lightroom, which is where I develop all my photos, and then put my presets on and then go through them individually, tweaking exposure and all that sort of stuff to make it perfect. And then export them all out, upload them up to an online gallery, and then send over the online gallery to the couple where they can view their photos and then download them and share the link around with their friends and family.
And then you might do a wedding album, so you might then put an album together for the couple.
Generally I like to keep albums separate, just so they don't have to worry about that before the wedding. So they basically get all their photos and then they can decide if they want an album or not.
So there's an awful lot of work. So a wedding day doesn't end when everyone leaves the dance floor.
No. I wish it did.
So one of the questions that we asked Tony earlier was, he says he's a one-man band. He brings people in as and when he needs them. And I guess it's the same for you. You're actually spending quite a lot of time on your own, but not on your own. So when you're at a wedding, there's hundreds of people that you're surrounded by, but you are working alone a lot of the time. How do you kind of motivate yourself? How do you,
Yeah, I mean, when you are working alone by yourself, but you're surrounded by a lot of people. So you're talking to guests, talking to their friends and family. You're constantly talking and interacting with people. So it's not like you're just there, tunnel vision, like taking photos. I do interact with the people and talk to the guests and stuff like that. And that allows me to get better photos, really. So, and then obviously you've got the flip side of that when I develop the photos, when I am literally on my own. And it's quite a nice, it's quite a nice balance, really. Working from home it can be challenging, can't it? I mean, I've been in that situation before. I got a dog. We've now got 2 dogs, different dogs, but and it does give you a routine, doesn't it? So what do you do to kind of break up your day? Do you meet with people if you've got a support network? Yeah, so basically, probably about a year ago, me and Kerry Pearl, who's a Cambridge makeup artist, we set up a networking group where all wedding suppliers, we try and meet once a month. Obviously now at the moment, it's a bit busy wedding season, it's sometimes restricted to meet up. But we try and meet up once a month for lunch, just so we can talk about our businesses, talk about our ideas, just have a little general chit chat, really. And it just gets everyone out and meeting people and having a bit of human interaction rather than just sort of in the editing cave. So that's like really valuable for me.
And that gives you kind of a support from other people in the industry that you can learn from. Yeah,
and since we've been doing it, I've built up like really good friendships as well. And it also helps on a wedding day. If the brides ask me for like a makeup artist or a florist or whatever, I can happily recommend like good friends now, and it makes a massive difference when I'm working with people I know.
And you have that trust in their ability.
It just allows the whole day to flow a lot better than working with someone you don't know.
Yeah, and you've found the wedding industry and particularly wedding photographers to be really supportive of each other, haven't you? It's a good it's a friendly industry to be part of. Yeah, I mean,
the wedding photography industry has changed massively in the last 6-7 years, really. Like years ago, if you were a photographer and another photographer came and spoke to you, a lot of photographers would turn up their nose because they didn't want the competition. They were scared that they were going to take work from each other. Whereas like now, everyone just embraces it. Just it's helping each other really, just to better themselves. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their different styles. So yeah, it's just been really good. And obviously from that, I've done a few gatherings and conferences where I've just networked with a lot of photographers really. So it's been another thing that's been really good.
That's brilliant. We're just going to take a little pause there, and I'm going to remind everybody that's watching. Well, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Just remind everyone what we're doing this for. So again, this is all to raise money for our charity challenge, our 15 Years of Rubber Cheese challenge, to raise £15,000 for the Tamworth Bereavement Support Group. And there's a couple of ways that you can do that. They're all in the comments below. You can go to our Just Giving page, which is justgiving.com/15 Years of Rubber Cheese. And you can text 378, £5 or £10, however you're feeling. You can text that to 70070, and that will go straight into the pot. I'm also going to admit that I've dropped my phone, and I'm going to need someone to come in here and help me pick it up. Ashley, to go and help me pick up my phone. I'm really sorry I've dropped it. And what we'll do is I'll just check the Facebook page and see if we've got any questions for Lee. So, Liam, thank you. Liam's just crawling in under the camera now
trying to hide out the camera.
To pass me my phone. Thank you. Thank you, Liam. You're amazing. Just to take a quick look. In the meantime, while I'm looking, I have a question for you. So, if there was somebody that wanted to get into the wedding industry, industry, the wedding photography industry, what would be your kind of top tips for them at this point? Because you've had quite a kind of long route in, haven't you? What would be your top tips?
I would just say, just do it. Just do it as soon as you can. Like, if you've got an interest in anything, really, just push on and do it as soon as you can. My biggest regret is not doing it early enough. You know, I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. But if you've got a real passion, and if you wanted to get into wedding photography in particular, I would say go and second shoot with a wedding photographer. A lot of wedding photographers will let you go along and just second shoot and hold their bags and stuff, and you can gain a lot of experience and stuff like that from doing that. So that's probably the biggest tip. Just put your, email people out there. Just ask. If you don't ask, don't get. So
I love that actually.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So putting yourself out there, making the connections, doing some stuff, second shooting.
What's the worst they can say? They're going to say no, and you only need like 2 or 3 to say yes, come along, and you can just get build up your portfolio from there.
Is that something that you did when you were?
I did do a lot of second shooting, mostly for quite a few Norwich photographers, and that just really helped me build up my portfolio, build up my confidence to then be able to do it on your own. So I highly recommend it, really.
Right. So we've got loads of people watching, but no one's asking any questions again, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing again. I don't think I am.
Maybe.
I don't think I hope I'm not. So if you do have any questions for Lee, just pop them in the comments below, and we will ask them as we continue our circle challenge. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit of a sore bum now.
My butt cheeks are hurting as well, but it's fine. So I want to talk a little bit about your career at the moment and things that you've accomplished. So you say you've been doing this full time for 2 years now, which is actually quite a short amount of time, but you've been doing it for 6 years in total. What's been your proudest moment so far, your biggest achievement?
I think the biggest achievement was actually going full time. Kind of thought about it for probably 18 months, well, probably a year to 18 months before I actually done it. And at the time, my company that I was working for were offering voluntary redundancy. So one person in our team of 6 were going to get made redundant. So I just decided that was the time for me, and just took the voluntary redundancy, saved obviously someone else from being made redundant. And yes, I haven't really looked back from there really. So
it's a bit of a theme here because that
it was kind
happened to Tony as well.
Yeah, it's sometimes things happen in life like this, and you just got to grab it, with the 2 hands. You've got, that's the only thing you can do. I wish I'd have done it earlier, but maybe I wouldn't have been right to do it like 18 months, a year before that. So
I think sometimes those things just come along at the right time, don't they?
Yeah, sometimes they just work out, like they're supposed to.
So where do you find your clients from? How do people find you, and where do you get most of your kind of work from?
So the 2 main sources are word of mouth and referrals, which is basically from past brides, past weddings, and also from suppliers, other photographers. So that's one area, and then the other area is mainly social media. So social media is really big for photography and photography in general. So I normally get a lot of work from Facebook and Instagram. So especially Instagram's starting to take a bit more of a lead now, with obviously it being so visual, which is perfect for photography. So yeah, they're the 2 main areas really.
So a lot of your time actually is spent thinking about how you promote yourself online and what you do.
Yeah, you just got to have a big online presence, and just continually updating social media constantly, and just putting out new material every couple of days really. And
you just run a competition, you do things like that?
Yes, I just run a competition. I don't generally do that much in terms of competitions and stuff like that, but I ran a competition for three engraved engagement shoots, so that's just come to a close, and I was lucky to sort of offer that to 3 people, so I'm looking forward to doing them in September, which should be good fun.
Yeah. And you've been, obviously I'm slightly biased in the sense that I think your work is incredible. However, you have been recognised for producing, you know, some incredibly creative work because you've won a number of awards in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So how do you think that helps? Is it justification for you? Do you think that helps, you know, people?
I think awards do help because it gives you the confidence and it gives you the recognition in the industry. I think they also can be like a real big hindrance as well, because if you enter them, especially when you're just first starting out and you don't like get anywhere and you don't get any awards, you can be like real disheartened about it, and it can knock your confidence. So I would just be maybe a bit wary of doing them straight away. But yeah, they can be really beneficial, like later down the line.
Yeah, and a recent award you won is a 9 Dots award. Is that right? Yeah.
So 9 Dots is basically like a gathering of photographers that sort of happens every November. It's about 100 photographers, so we all go down to London, a bounce, which is basically a ping pong place. So, and they get photographers from all around the world. They do some talks, and then in between the talks, we do just have a bit of, you know, social time and play a bit of ping pong, chat with photographers about your business, you know, sharing tips and like tricks and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been really helpful, really, and you know, it's a great community to be part of.
And you are quite a big believer in lifelong learning, aren't you? So I know that you. What kind of things do you do to, you know, keep your skills up to date and make sure that you're kind of continuously improving?
You know, I obviously look at other photographers and stuff like that, but it's just, you know, looking at other, you know, it doesn't have to be photography, it could be films, it could be music, it could be any inspiration just to keep you, keep you going really, and just trying to find some new ideas and new ways to go.
And in terms, so you said about looking at photographers.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of photographers that you really admire, or you kind of hold a light up to as?
Yeah, it's quite a few to be honest, but a couple like, you know, Harvey's a great photographer. He's based in the UK. He's like, you know, at the top of his game at the moment, you know, flying around all over the world, shooting things in different countries and stuff. You know, his work's just amazing. You know, he's so consistent with his editing and his colours and all that sort of stuff. It's just, you know, definitely someone to aspire to.
But you do know him as well, don't you?
I do know
which
him.
is lovely. I think that's one of the nicest things about, you know, from looking at how Lee has kind of developed as a photographer and the kind of networks that he's part of now. I think what's lovely is actually people that you once kind of went, oh my God, you know, these people are amazing, what they're doing. Actually, now they're kind of your friends,
yeah.
And you get to work alongside them as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and another thing that I didn't mention was, you know, to help you develop as well is just to try and do workshops. So I've done quite a few workshops over the last few years, and they've been like a massive help. Like I've done workshops with like really good photographers like Tyler Workin, Alan Law, you know, James Pearson. You know, they're just really good to sort of look into their world and just, you know, see what they're doing, what they're doing right, and what they're doing wrong, and stuff like that. And it's just been really, really helpful.
So on that note, you know, you've been to a lot of workshops with photographers. How do you see your business evolving? Do you think that that's something that you would like to do, or public speaking, or where do you see your business going?
Yeah, I mean, I want to shoot, for my photography side of it, I want to shoot more destination weddings and less traditional weddings. But on the other side of that, I wouldn't mind doing, starting to get into some speaking and maybe workshops. I'm not sure about the workshops, but everyone seems to be doing them at the moment. And it's just, I'm not sure whether that's my ideal skill set is teaching. But yeah, I definitely would like to do some speaking and maybe some, you know, conference talks and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great. It's a good way of getting your kind of getting known out there. But also,
Yeah.
You've got a really great story to share about, you know, how you started your business
Yeah.
as well. We've got some questions. This is exciting. Let's see. We've got a question from Tony, who was on earlier. Tony wants to know, what's your take on smartphone photography?
To be fair, a lot of photographers moan about smartphones and moan about iPads and stuff like that. You know, but we're in the digital age now, and I just say just embrace it. Just let people want to take photos with their smartphones, let them do it. You know, there's no point of getting stressed out about it and barge them out of the way or whatever. Just let it flow. You know, they're only going to capture like a couple of images, maybe that are sort of printable. You know, they haven't got the experience and all that sort of stuff in the lighting and all that sort of thing. So I'll just say, yeah, just let them get on with it.
So yeah, I think that touched a bit of a nerve there, because that is a massive thing for wedding photographers.
Yeah,
so
it is.
There's been a few quite documented stories of someone trying to take like that perfect shot of people walking down the aisle and someone's kind of standing out with their camera.
Yeah, I mean, there's times and places where I think like if the bride and groom are walking down the aisle and someone's like sticking their iPad out in the middle of the aisle, I think that's maybe a bit too far. But generally, just let them capture their moments. You know, they're part of the wedding as well. You know, there's no reason why they can't take photos. The same as I can. You know?
And what about using your phone, like using the camera on your smartphone? Because you do use your camera on that quite a few bits as well. You've done some creative things with that. Yeah,
I mean, you can use reflections and stuff like that on your smartphone, which I sometimes do. And I'm also doing like Instagram stories as well throughout the day, which kind of just gives a bit of an insight to how I work, and a bit of a background of the wedding and all that sort of stuff really. So it's good for any future brides and grooms that are sort of thinking about booking a photographer.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I think that's something that Tony was talking about making you, it makes you real, it makes you authentic. Yeah. So you do share a lot about your day, you share a lot about our dogs, which is nice.
And, I was watching Tony's video earlier, and you were talking about trying to do more sort of like face-to-face interview videos, and that's what I was trying to do, incorporate Facebook Live and stuff like that into my business, which is a bit daunting to start with, but I think we do get used to it.
Yeah, but now look what you're doing. That's how I feel. Like we're cycling, just chatting to the world.
I know.
And just a quick follow-up, actually, question from Tony on this subject of people with cameras at weddings, because I know it is a big thing. So Tony wants to know, how do you handle the over-enthusiastic uncle at a wedding with a DSLR? Because we've been in that situation before.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what they're doing. Like, if they're just taking photos during the drink reception, or if they're just sort of standing behind me taking pictures of the group shots, I haven't got a problem with that. The only time that I would have a problem with it would be if they wanted to come during a couple time. And I would just explain to him, I'm being paid to take their photos, and I want the couple to interact. And the more people that are around, the harder it will be for them to interact with each other. So, it's just basically being polite about it, just explaining to him.
You've always been really supportive about people that have asked you questions at weddings, well, haven't you? Because you do get a lot of questions about your equipment and things, or people come over and show you their cameras, but you just help people.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point of being difficult about it. It's just people can buy a camera down the road. It's just there's no point of being awkward about it. You might as well just be friendly and just.
Well, that actually leads on to another question that we've had. So Paul Wright has asked, what's the best camera for someone just starting out? What would be your recommendation?
Well, I would actually suggest going for a mirrorless camera now. And to be honest, it's a bit of a minefield. There's so many cameras out there. But I'd say for a beginner, probably look at Sony camera or Fuji camera. They're really good compact cameras, and they do give some great images from them cameras.
And what kind of budget would someone be looking to take? Because camera equipment can be really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, for a really good Sony camera, you're looking probably at about £500, I would say. But it depends on what your budget is really. There are cameras that you can buy sort of £300 or £400, but sort of £500 to £600 where you can really get a really good camera.
£500 to £600. Okay, cool. Thank you. Paul, there was another question from Paul Wright, which is he wants to know if Ryan Reynolds is your hero. But I mean, he's got it wrong. It's Ryan Gosling, isn't it? So
he's my double hero.
Thanks for that question. It's really helpful.
He's my man crush.
That's brilliant. Okay, tell me, I want to know, now look, obviously weird things can go on at weddings. We've all been to a wedding where there's some weird stuff going on, but what's been like the funniest moment in a wedding that you could tell us about? Putting you on the spot.
It's not funny, but it was an awkward situation which I was in. So I was shooting a wedding in just outside Cambridge. It was a church wedding, and vicars can be, they can be hard work at times, but then some vicars are amazing. So for this vicar in particular was being a bit difficult. She wouldn't let me go at the front to take pictures of the ceremony, which is fine. Some vicars have their rules, which is fine. So anyway, I was standing at the back taking photos during the ceremony, and she sort of stopped about mid-sentence and just shouted at me, "Stop taking pictures in God's house!"
Oh,
and I was just standing in the middle of the aisle, and I didn't know where to look, didn't really know what to do.
Did God strike you down?
And then she said, "Sit down," and because I was standing in the middle of the aisle, there was nowhere for me to sit down. So I ended up just having to kneel down in the middle of the aisle. All the guests were like hysterically laughing, and then she just carried on with the rest of the ceremony. So,
you got told off by a vicar.
Yeah,
embarrassing.
It was, it was obviously, it wasn't really bothered about myself really. It was just the fact that I was not getting images for the couple. So I was paid to be there to take photos of their ceremony. I mean, luckily I sort of managed to take a few secret ones without her knowing, but yeah, it's just not ideal. So another bit of advice: if you are having a ceremony at church, I would recommend speaking to the vicar and just seeing if she's got any restrictions ahead of the wedding, just in case, so you know where you are really.
So on that note, actually, top tips. What would be some of your top tips? I know that you have a blog where you share top tips from you and from makeup artists and wedding planners. But for you specifically, what would be top tips for someone who's kind of planning their wedding or looking at booking their wedding photographer?
I would just, if you're looking at booking a wedding photographer, I would say just look at a few different photographers and choose, pick sort of maybe 3 photographers that you really love their work, you really love their style, kind of think that you'll gel with them. And then meet up with them. There's no better way than sort of getting to know someone than meeting them face to face, or even now if you can't meet face to face over a Skype call, because you're going to spend a lot of time with that photographer, especially the bride. So it's really important that you get along, because they're going to be there with you all day. So you don't want to be sort of around someone that you don't gel with, and you don't get on with. So
really do your homework and meet face to face or meet over Skype.
Yeah,
that's not possible.
And you can just chat through things, and if you've got any issues and stuff like that, it'll be ironed out straight away. But yeah.
So how about so a lot of your weddings, and you are extremely lucky that you get to do this. So we both love to travel, and Lee now actually does a lot of destination weddings. So he gets to incorporate travelling, which he adores, with photography, which he adores. So that's an incredibly great position to be in.
Yeah.
Where have you shot around the world?
So I've shot at a few different locations. Last year I shot in Italy and in Dubai. And then this year I'm in Italy twice, and then I've got one in Sweden, and then one in Turkey later on in the year. And I just absolutely love these destination weddings. Because for a destination wedding, I normally travel up there about 2 days before the wedding. So then I can be a part of all the pre-wedding shenanigans, and just they're having a pre-wedding meal or a barbecue or something like that, to be part of that. You get to know all of the guests and the bride and groom before the wedding, and it just means that on the wedding day they know who I am. They know that there's going to be a camera around, and they're just a little bit more relaxed.
You've almost sort of become part of the wedding.
Yeah, I'm always I'm part of the gang, so and it just makes my job a lot easier, and it's just it's easier for them as well, so they don't feel uncomfortable. Yeah.
And then so that's a really good tip. So going out, so you go out there earlier. So a lot of people, if they book their wedding abroad, they wouldn't necessarily think about flying out a UK-based photographer.
Yeah.
So what's the benefits for doing that?
Well, the biggest benefit is that you can probably meet them at least over Skype, if not in person before the wedding. And it's just, it's so much easier to actually speak to someone face to face before the wedding. And also, you haven't got a language barrier. I mean, if you have a wedding abroad, you can have issues with language barrier, especially like during like time or the group shots and stuff like that, which can be a big issue. Like I say, actually, I'm allowed two days before the wedding, so normally I can incorporate a pre-wedding shoot as well during this time. Whereas if you booked a local photographer, they'll probably charge you extra for that. So it's just a couple of benefits, really.
So it's ease of language. It's ease of, you're going to be there for a lot longer time as well, which is good. And
a lot of destinations like wedding photographers abroad, they've got really lovely work and stuff like that, but they've, the style and the traditions are very different like abroad. So if you're a UK couple and you want like a UK photo like style, then I would just have a look at that, because sometimes abroad they can be very traditional photos still, and that's not what you want. Then you just need to look into that.
Yeah, thank you. So just a quick reminder about donating. Because our butt cheeks are really feeling it. I've got to be honest, my right butt cheek is pretty dead right now. It's got pain shooting down my leg. So remember to donate. You can do that at our Just Giving page, justgiving.com/15 years of rubber cheese, or you can text to donate. So you can text 378 and then £5 or £10 to 70070, and that will go in the pot. We are raising £15,000 for the Tampa Bereavement Support Group. I know that they're watching because they've just given us a little keep up the good work, guys. Message. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. So we've got, what time is it?
Nearly 10 to.
So we've got like nearly 10 minutes. If you've got any questions for Lee, if you want to know top tips about planning your wedding, how to choose the right wedding photographer, how to plan the timings of your day, because that's actually important. Let's talk about that for a minute. So sometimes things don't go to plan on wedding days. They just don't. So what's important when you're planning the timings from a photography aspect if you want the best shots?
Well, just in general, in timings for your wedding, I would say probably allow 10 to 15 minutes extra for every single thing. So allow that extra time for bridal prep, that extra time for drink reception, that extra time for speeches, and so on. Just because if anything does happen, you've got a bit of a leeway to sort of make up the time if anything does go wrong. In terms of photography, like I always recommend, I don't do very many group shots on a wedding day, so I love just to capture people naturally and interacting with each other like in a natural way rather than in a posed way. But I do some group shots, which is basically I normally sort of suggest 6 to 8 group shots, which covers like the main bridal party and your immediate like family. And these sort of take between 20 and 30 minutes, which obviously doesn't just disrupt the day too much, which allows you to go on and enjoy the day. So I try and do these as quick as I can during the drink reception, so then it just leaves you just to go off and drink and enjoy being with your friends and family, really.
And that we talk about golden hour. So golden hour, tell everyone what golden hour is if they don't already know.
So golden hour is basically sort of half an hour before sunset and half an hour afterwards. This is the best time where the light is just more flattering. It's just got like a golden colour, especially in the sun. And I like to get my couples out during this time just to get some couple shots. It's the best part of the day to get them out for that, really.
So depending on where your wedding is and what time of year it is, you need to kind of think about planning around that hour if possible.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be long. Yeah, most of the time I do it sort of 15, 20 minutes. But sometimes, depending on the time of year, if you're having your wedding breakfast, you could potentially come out in between like sort of main course and dessert when they're clearing away the plates. You're just going to be sitting there just waiting for the dessert to come out. So you might as well go out and get some lovely photos.
So what about downtime? You at the moment you don't tend to get a lot of downtime, do you? So what kind of things do you do you know, to keep your, you know, a wedding photographer's job is extremely demanding in terms of like physical fitness, isn't it? So what kind of things do you do to help you with that?
So I go to the gym, well, try and go to the gym 3 times a week, and obviously walk the dogs, you know, try and do a bit of running here and there as well. And that just sort of, most of the gym work's just like strength stuff, because obviously you carry around a lot of gear on the wedding day. So it's just good to have that, you know, that exercise program in place.
Yeah. And what about the mental side of things? So we touched a little bit about how, you know, working from home, working on your own, it can be quite challenging. Yeah. So you need to build that support network around you.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough being like self-employed, like working from home, working from like being on your own all day. Like we've got 2 dogs. They keep
We've got Doris and Ralph. They
Ralph.
keep us busy.
They keep me company. But yeah, it's massively important to have that human interaction, which is where the networking comes in, and obviously having that group that I go to like once a month really helps. And obviously sometimes I meet up with other wedding suppliers. So I meet up with Kerry quite a lot, Katie, you know, just to chat about business and just life in general. Really, just gets me out of the house. Just breaks up the week.
And what are the minutes? And we talked earlier about that biggest accomplishment, and you said that was actually starting, having the bravery and the courage to start. What's your kind of biggest challenge at the moment, would you say?
Biggest challenge at the moment. Just getting. I think the biggest challenge at the moment is getting the right bookings, the right inquiries coming in.
Yeah, and that comes down
to...
It's
a bit of a buzzword at the moment, like ideal client, but you know, it is really important. You know, obviously the couple of them have got to gel with me, but it also works the other way around. But I need to gel with them as well, because if I'm shooting something that I'm not that, you know, not that passionate about, it will show in the work. So it's just paramount that I sort of, you know, work with the right clients.
And that's important in any like working relationship, isn't it? That it's the right gel, because like you say, if a relationship just isn't working, it's not going to get the best for everybody involved. So where do you talked earlier about social media, and you do a lot of work on there. What about wedding fairs? Do you do anything like that?
I used to do wedding fairs. I've done a few big ones and a few smaller ones, but they didn't really work that well for me because I'm not a natural salesperson. So I wouldn't go up and approach people trying to sell my service. I'd rather people sort of be drawn to my work and me rather than sort of the other way around. So I never really found wedding fairs that great for me. I am doing one later this year, so we'll see how that one goes.
I think that's the thing with any marketing, isn't it? It's trial and error about what works for you. Yeah. So where do we find you at the moment? Where do you post out what we're doing?
So the best place to find me is on the website, which is www.leeallisonphotography.co.uk. Instagram is a really good place to see what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis, which is /LeeAllisonphotography. And then obviously Facebook's another good one, which again is Lee Allison Photography.
Instagram is great as well because you do your stories over there.
Yeah, I mean Instagram is a great basis for like a visual business, like whether it's creative or whether it's photography related really. And it's especially with the introduction of Instagram TV, which I've started trying to use as well now, which obviously builds up a bit more of a rapport with like my audience and allows them to get to know me a bit better.
So we've had some more little congratulatory good luck messages. So Nikki Roberts is saying thanks so much for all of your support. You are very welcome.
Awesome.
Our butt cheeks are really feeling it right now.
Yeah, so really tender. Counting down the last 5 minutes.
Which we are properly counting it down to the starting. So if there's any last minute questions for Lee, please do pop them in the comments. Another reminder, please keep donating. I know we keep asking, but these challenges are relentless. And we're putting all of our kind of time and energy into these, just trying to reach this total, which I'm really confident we're going to do. And I know it's a huge ask that we keep asking, but please do keep donating. Please do keep texting in. Hopefully you're finding value from the interviews that we do, and I think it's been really interesting finding out a bit more about what Lee does, and he's given some real good top tips. So what we're going to do is, in the comments later and on our page, we'll pop down all of the information about Lee, where you can find him, his blog, his Instagram, his Facebook, etc. And then we'll also be writing up a blog with some of Lee's top tips that he's talked about today, which we'll be sharing out. And obviously, if you can't watch this live, you can tune in later.
Lucky you.
Lucky you. See us sweating. Whew, I feel exhausted. I feel really hot. Okay, a few more minutes to go. So we talked about future plans. What would you have done if you hadn't been a photographer, do you think?
I would have probably carried on working in graphic design because I really enjoyed working in graphic design, and that's probably another reason why it was so hard to sort of make the transition and switch to go full time, because I really enjoyed my day job. So I think like, if I wasn't doing photography, I'd still be working in graphic design, 100%.
Yeah, because it's the creative process that you love.
Yeah, and the companies I worked for during my graphic design stage was, they're all great in their own ways. It's given me that experience to now sort of use that in my photography, which has been a massive help.
And where would you love to shoot a wedding? Where would be like your dream
New Zealand.
place? New Zealand. Yeah. Okay.
That's an easy one. Straight there.
That might end up being our own wedding. Okay, so if you do know anyone that's going to get married in New Zealand, please hit us up. I would probably be coming to assist on that, I have to be honest, which I have done occasionally. Yeah. Oh, right.
A bit close to home, I'd like to shoot a wedding probably somewhere like Ibiza. Would be really good because I've been to Ibiza quite a few times now. It's a place that I really sort of love being, and it's just like a real relaxed place.
Ibiza is lovely. All right, I think we're going to wind it up there. Liam and Ashley, we're going to hand over again in a minute. Get ready.
Time out.
I'm actually going. Time out. We're done. I want to say a massive thank you to Lee for giving up his time today. Like I said, we're going to post all of the details below, and we're going to be sharing a blog about it. So if you still have questions later, please do ask, and we'll pass them on to him. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you so much for having me.
You can walk the dogs later.
I work with dogs every day. Right, is that us done?
Are we done? Can we hand over? I've got another butt cheek.
Snacking.
All right. Let's do this handover.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's hard.